Good morning, everyone. It's 8:30, so if you all don't mind, we're going to go ahead and get started. And first, we're going to do the roll call.
Gary Anders. Perrin Anderson.
Present.
Michael Biddle.
Yes, ma'am.
Crystal Gibson.
Yes, here.
Rusty Goddard. Stephen Goodpaster.
Here.
Marcus Hilliard.
Here.
Carletta Smith, sir. And Debbie Stafford.
Here. All right. So I was asked to provide a devotional, and I had this wonderful book I was going to bring and show everyone, and then I left it at home. The book is entitled Unoffendable. It is by a Christian author, I think Mr. Hansen, but it's a very interesting read. It says, what if we as people and Christians didn't get offended every time someone breathed the wrong way? And I took it to heart. It was originally recommended to me by a patient, so been reading through it. It's really good. What if on Super Bowl night and someone posts in social media they watched Bad Bunny, everyone else didn't get offended? What if someone posted they watched the Turning Point halftime show and everyone didn't get offended? What if we just said, cool? Being a Christian author, he does reference the Bible, which is what I try to live my life by as best as I can, and I fall short daily. But Ephesians 4:26 and 27 says, be angry and do not sin. So a lot of us use that as justification that it's okay to be angry. The problem is in our human state, our anger usually leads to sin if we're all being honest with ourselves. We want to beat down people in social media. We want to argue and show some kind of moral superiority. So what if we just didn't do that anymore? What if we didn't like what they had to say, but we respect their right to say it? That's what our Constitution is founded on, the freedom of speech. Proverbs 15:1 says, a gentle answer turns away wrath. So what if we didn't get angry and try and choose someone out? What if we just turned away? James 1:19 and 20 says to be quick to listen and slow to speak in anger. And those of you that know me, I usually speak first, ask questions later, which usually doesn't work out well for me. So I would just encourage all of us as a group that has to listen to potential ethics and help set the update of our standards, that we think about that. What if we just didn't get offended all the time? What if we tried to live by facts instead of emotion? I think a lot of us, myself first and foremost, would have a much easier way of life if I was more logic-driven instead of emotional. So that's really the message I felt like God was calling me to share. And with that, we can move on. On our agenda, we are looking to amendments for the agenda. Wait, this is the current one. I'm sorry, I'm looking at last month's. So now we're going to stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance. And Marcus, if you could please lead us in that.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. Next on the agenda is public forum. We had no one. I'm sorry. We do need to do amendments. Okay, I apologize. Oh, I missed that. So I'm going to open the floor for you all to look over the agenda and let us know if there are any amendments you'd like to make. And being done, we're going to go ahead and move ahead. This is a part of public forum. It's fairly new for those of you that are new to our committee. We had no one sign up ahead of time. I see two lovely people in the audience. Would anyone like to come forward and speak at this time? Okay. And we are honored to have Commissioner Frazier here.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just quickly, good morning to you all. And I just wanted to say thank you for the work that you're doing. This is important work. I want to say to Madam Chair, thank you for those words. They're very encouraging and inspiring, and I took those to heart, and I hope you will as well. So thank you for the work you're doing. I know that there's a lot of other things that you could be doing, and you chose to be here, so we appreciate you.
Thank you, Commissioner Frazier. So now if you all will take a minute, look over for the approval of minutes. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Okay, all those in favor of approving the minutes, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the minutes have now been approved. The next item is new business. We want to recognize our new members, Mr. Anderson and Anders. I was like, why am I? We welcome you both to our committee, and would you all like to share a little bit about yourselves with the committee?
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Perrin Anderson. I work at University of Tennessee and live in South Knoxville, and I'm pleased to serve on this board.
And I'm Gary Anders, without the O-N. I also work at UT, but UT Hospital. Enjoying the opportunity to serve with you guys and look forward to getting to know all of you better.
Welcome to you both. We're honored to have you. And now for old business. Anyone have anything they would like to add? All right, I'm going to go ahead and move forward to the report from the subcommittee to consideration of the comprehensive review and revision of the Knox County Code of Ethics. I believe we have a copy here before us. This is the draft of the revised, is that correct? So I'm going to turn the floor over to Mr. Biddle, who is heading up that subcommittee.
Madam Chair, thank you. Good morning to you all. What you have, what the committee has in their hands is not a finished draft of the policies for the Knox County Code of Ethics. We've had 6 meetings. It is, if you haven't attended, it is a giant party. We whoop it up big time. Miss Rhonda, can I get a woo-hoo? There you go. Hey, we're getting a lot of work done. Mr. Kennedy, thank you for stroking the keyboards over there. For anybody in the public, I really encourage you to make comments, get involved. Everything we've done, all the work product is on our public website. And what we do is we've gone through, I believe, almost 90% of the document to this point. And all comments are made public. All comments are out there on work products. Mr. Goodpaster also, after we met with internal audit for the county, saw a wonderful flow chart, and Mr. Goodpaster loves flow charts. So he has actually made a very similar flow chart, which we'll look at next Wednesday, two weeks from today, a flow chart that not only helps us as a committee, but more importantly, helps the public. If this happens, you want to go here. If no, then here. If yes, then here. It's great. It's beautiful. And we're going to look at that in 2 weeks as well. After we finish the Knox County Code of Ethics policy and look at Mr. Goodpaster's work of art, we are then going to go into the procedures, which should not take as long, knock on wood, to go through, but we still need to review that as well, Madam Chair. I'm happy to take any questions or any comments.
I have one question, and first I want to thank all of you on the subcommittee. I know that you all have worked very hard, and this looks great, and I greatly appreciate you all being able to take this and go with it. I have a question on nepotism and relations. I noticed that it talks about a relative. What about, and I don't want to get too dark, but what about sexual relationships with other people? For example, and I'm not saying that Mayor Jacobs has done this, but let's say a mayor, single person, has a relationship with someone and then wants to appoint that person's child to a board. I noticed that with the current rules, that is not addressed, but I still feel like that is something that we should consider. And I wasn't really sure how to bring it up to the subcommittee without violating the Sunshine Law, so I just thought I'll bring it up right here.
Perfect place to do it. We actually had a very deep and broad discussion on household, on cousins of what, but maybe our council might be able to comment on that, because that's a great point.
You can expand it to whatever level or degree of relationship you wish. I think the problem in most circumstances is going to be one of disclosure, I guess. If you're involved in an inter-office relationship, do people know this? Do you have to then prove that people are involved in an inter-office relationship if they are not publicly disclosing it? So there's some difficulties that I would anticipate with something like that. But there's nothing I think that would prevent you from doing that. It would open some questions to me about how do you prove that that's the case? I mean, blood relations are on paper, but and you pointed out it's a sexual relationship. What if it's just a friendship?
Yeah.
How do you distinguish between those two things?
Well, the angle I'm going at is, let's say that you are a county official and you have an affair, and then that person comes forward and says, if you don't do X, Y, or Z, then I will out our relationship to cause political damage to you. If we have it in our ethics policy that if you have had a sexual relationship, you must recuse yourself, then that takes away that power that someone might have to blackmail. Because you could argue, well, it's in the ethics committee that I have to recuse myself from voting so that I don't have an appearance of impropriety. It's actually, my suggestion is actually to protect the elected official from a potential angle there. But I don't really know if we could put that in. If it's in there, then it comes back to, well, yes, you have to prove it, whereas otherwise you could just say, I'm recusing myself for this vote.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but did we had put that on the table and we were going to discuss the definitions at the next meeting, and we actually touched on nepotism. Am I making that up? Mm-mm. No. So that's one of the things that is pending for us to review in the next meeting. And I was thinking, and it may be far-fetched and it'll probably be a conversation for the subcommittee, but kind of crafting it geared towards how the domestic violence laws define relationship. But again, at the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I will make every effort to attend that so we can discuss it more in depth.
Well, just a reminder to the committee and to the public that there is a disclosure form that needs to be filled out. So that's the opportunity of the applicant to disclose, or the applicant, but an employee, an official, somebody involved with the county in some form or fashion to disclose that as well. And then it is tough, per the counselor, it is tough to prove relationships. But I would also, I think there's two sides. There's one, false allegations, and then there's also truth when somebody has an affair. Probably ought not be doing that anyways. But yeah, but there is a disclosure form at the end, which we took out of the meat of the document and put it as an addendum to put some strength and view on that.
Okay. Well, thank you for that feedback. Does anyone else have anything they would like to add?
Madam Chair, I just add that we, like Crystal brought up, we've asked the law department to help us determine the definition of relationship kind of thing, or household, because there are different terms used currently in the code throughout, and it's convoluted, really. It just needs cleaned up. So we're working on that. But
Okay.
Once it's all identified and it's all the same throughout, then we could expand it. It'll make it easier to do that. So
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
And again, people have a right to do whatever they want to do in their private lives. It was more to protect the official from that potential area that they could be manipulated. If it's in the ethics committee that they can't do it, then that takes away the power, because now the person can come forward and say something, but it's not going to get them anywhere. So that's just kind of the angle I was coming from.
And from another board I serve on, which has to do with doctors and patients, that is the second biggest charge after drugs, is sexual relations with a patient. And usually, unfortunately, they're intertwined. So definitely doesn't have to just be a blood relation. So totally understand where you're coming from.
Anyone else have anything they'd like to add? All right. Well, we appreciate that update. And again, we appreciate all the hard work. And with that, if there's nothing else to discuss, I can take a motion for us to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All right. All those in favor of adjourning, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I get to use my gavel.